So, it's 11:02. As we have more people joining us, we're going to go ahead and get started for today's session on Career Bootcamp Part 2. Everyone that's attending this call, please mute your mics. We're going to have opportunities to be able to talk and engage in today's conversation. So even though we have Mr. Hodge, we bringing Mr. Hodge back to talk more about career development, I want to make this an engagement opportunity where you all, student athletes, had opportunity to ask questions throughout the session. So, if you are nervous in asking the questions, please make sure that you put your question in the chat box because you have that opportunity as well. But also, too, you can unmute yourself and ask the question, too, to Mr. Hodge as well. So this morning, we're going to go ahead and get started on today's session. Again, we have Mr. Jeremy Hodge bringing us more on career development, some more tips to be successful as you continue on through your collegiate career. So now I'm going to bring to the floor Mr. Hodge. Mr. Hodge, you now have the floor to interact with all these wonderful people on this call.
All right, thanks again, Mr. Bennett. Good morning, everyone. I am Jeremy Hodge. I'm the former Director of Career Services for Alabama State University. I had the pleasure of serving in that capacity for a period of 6 years, and I enjoyed every day. Every day wasn't like coming to work because I enjoyed what I do. It was just coming to work and just living life, because I truly believe that my purpose in life is to empower people. I've since started my own organization entitled C3, which stands for Chico's Career Connections. And Chico is my middle name, the name that my mother gave me, and the same love that she gave me is the same love and support that I want to show all of my constituents, those that I serve and the companies that I work for. I'm currently here in Atlanta assisting a client of mine. So my goal is to take my business worldwide, and I want to show you and encourage you that you can do the same thing. So with today's presentation, as Mr. Bennett stated, we wanted to be engaging. I see that we have coaches on the call as well. So we want it to definitely be engaging. I want to talk to you all about from the standpoint of student success in regards to the student athlete. In regards to being a student athlete, there are certain skills that are called transferable skills that we conversed about during last presentation. Those skills are what keeps you hired. The technical skills get you hired, but the soft skills and the transferable skills that you learn on the team, such as being on time, time management, learning how to communicate with others, how to motivate others. Those things are pertinent to student success, and companies look for those things in an employee. There are some organizations that actually look for student athletes as employees. Hold on, I'm getting a text. As employees, because technically, as student athletes, you are employees and ambassadors of the university and should think of yourselves in that capacity. So, Mr. Bennett, let's go with one of the questions that you have.
Okay. So, my first question, and again, you all can kind of, you all as student athletes, you all can jump in and ask behind my question or get more, you want to elaborate on the question. So my first question is, what year should, when I first come in as a freshman student, is it too early to start identifying summer interns and building my resume?
Absolutely, absolutely not. As soon as you touch down on college campus on your freshman year, it's best to be proactive in terms of identifying those who come before you and identify those opportunities. You can do this through your coaches, and your coaches are actually some of your best links to your to having a successful matriculation within the university, as well as your academic advisors and your professors. So start to build your ecosystem of people that can assist in this endeavor, as well as the Office of Career Services, because that's where a lot of the employers seek and list those opportunities for interns. You may have a person that a fellow peer that may have already interned with an organization, and they can easily, refer you to intern once again. So start seeking out those opportunities as early as the second semester of your freshman year, because companies are there. One being CUNA Mutual Group. There, you can apply there, and it doesn't take it. They accept all majors, so there's no GPA requirement. So just to get your foot in the door, it's a paid internship. They pay for housing as well. So CUNA Mutual Group is one in particular that I can know off the top of my head that you can, as a freshman, you can obtain an internship through.
Thank you. As a freshman, why do you think it's, do you find it difficult, or what do you think the barriers are in place that withhold a freshman from, I guess, seeking help within their first year to get their career development going?
Well, oftentimes, some individuals don't realize, and even some professionals don't realize, the stressors that are in place with that first year experience. Some, being that I was a first generation college student myself, I had no blueprint of what to expect when I came to college, because no one had gone to college before me. So when I got here, the freedom that I had, I took full advantage of the freedom, and partied every night. Did typical college stuff that you would do. My GPA fell to like a 1.87 GPA. Yeah, it did. And my mom said, "You coming out? You joining the workforce? You going to the chicken plant with your cousins?" And I was like, "I'll be damned if I'm going to a chicken plant." So I'm not. So I sought out my resources on campus. Started to converse with friends, my professors, even the president of the university, Dr. Joe A. Lee, which was a former president of ASU as well. And they encouraged me, and I just started hanging around people and getting the support that I needed from different people. So in regards to the barriers, sometimes you can be a barrier yourself by not taking full advantage, by not taking advantage of the resources that are in place, by not conversing with your coaches and the academic staff, or even becoming aware of those things. And sometimes, let's talk about trauma for a minute. In reality, there are some people that are holding on to things that happened to them in the past, some things that they actually need counseling for, some things that a church will tell you can get prayer for, but you also need the tools to get by and get through these things, so you can eliminate and heal from the barriers, so you can invite new and positive energy in, so you can learn and take advantage of the things that are before you. So, yeah.
Thank you.
And also, before we go ahead, as I stated earlier, my nephew currently plays in the NFL. He's the third wide receiver next to Odell Beckham. I think it's Landry Beckham, then my nephew Kadaro Hodge with the Cleveland Browns. And some barriers that he faced, I can remember. He had to identify picking a major, not knowing what you wanted to do. And even my nephew Shay, that played with the Redskins in Cincinnati, not knowing what career that you actually wanted to go into, what major that you actually wanted to go into. Even if you make it to the NFL, even if you make it to the NBA or professional soccer player or a tennis player or what have you, you have to have a plan B, a plan C, and in now times a plan Z, just to make sure that you're living in your truth and you're living in your excellence and being prepared for the next phase. Because my nephew Shay ended up getting hurt, and he didn't expect getting hurt because he envisioned, being a pro athlete, for a number of years. I think he may have played 3 years, I think, but when he got hurt, it was like he was in a war with himself. Like, what's next? What do I do next? My vision for success has been thwarted by an injury. So what do I do next? So we talked and we counseled, and ultimately he's still in the field, but he's preparing athletes for college with Hodge's performance or something like that. He has a company, but he consults with coaches and prepares high school athletes, and he also does public speaking for college athletes. So just staying in the field and knowing what it is that you actually want to do, and then setting a plan and creating an ecosystem and achieving it.
Mr. Hodge, would you like to move forward with the PowerPoint?
I think we can just go to the questions. We don't have PowerPoint today.
Okay.
But I would like to hear from maybe a student or even a coach, just something that they would like to ask. Because I do want students to know, back in my day, I turned 45 on September 14th. And in my generation, well, from my experience dealing with my family and, the era that I grew up in, I had a number of ideas for business opportunities and things like that. But I was always told to wait your turn, or wait this and wait that. And I learned later on in life that a person telling you to wait is more so about their belief systems and how they view themselves. And I encourage a student now, even though you may be a freshman or junior or you're in college, that if you have an idea for entrepreneurship and things like that, don't wait. Just do your research and plan and get out there and make it happen. There are opportunities for you to increase and enhance your brand, not only as a student athlete, but as a strong businessman, as a strong businesswoman. So take full advantage of the opportunities that are before you, and know that you can do it now if you choose to.
Mr. Hodge,
What are ways? Oh, my fault.
Oh, go ahead, son.
I was gonna say, what?
Somebody muted, I guess.
You got to unmute yourself, Diop. I think that's you.
Oh yeah, I was muted. My fault. But for the people that want to get in entrepreneurship, right, and like to start a business or to invest in stuff, you need money. But being a student athlete with our time and stuff like that, it's hard to come across that. So what is your advice on that?
You have Miss Andrea Mosley in the Small Business Center at ASU. She's a great resource for not only completing the paperwork that goes along with starting the business, but she also can assist you in identifying financial opportunities or financial assistance that can assist you in creating that. Now, I do want to tell you, being that you are a student athlete, your time management and priority is to, being an ambassador for the university, being in that sport. So please, in regards to time management, make sure that you're adhering to your professional duties as a student athlete, but there are also availability through social media and things like that for you to gain and build a team around your whatever business that you want to do. But Andrea Mosley in the Small Business Center has a plethora of information that can definitely assist a student athlete and anyone in terms of starting a business and financing it as well.
Mr. Hodge, I have a question too.
Okay.
So for a lot of the behavioral and situational questions when it comes to interview time, how do we leverage our experiences as a student athlete since we don't have work experience to pull from it? So when they ask you, tell me about, when you did this on a project, or tell me about a time you met this type of deadline. We haven't necessarily worked, so we don't have the experience from that, but we have similar experiences as a student athlete. So how can we leverage those experiences to show that, we can answer that question?
Well, you just said it. As student athletes, you're at work. You're basically employed by the university, and the instances where you all do group projects, even in the classroom, group projects, or you volunteer here, or you hold a certain position on the team, or you're in an organization. Those things can actually be used as experience. And being that in any interview, you would have done your research on the company prior to going to the interview. So those experiences, not only list them on your resume, but learn how to express them verbally as well to the employer, and the skill sets that they actually looking for. And that's what I mean when I said transferable skills earlier, the skills that you learn by being on the team, such as time management, paying attention to detail, being able to adjust and function in difficult situations. You learn that on any team, how to handle stressful situations. Those things are things that companies look for. So you're actually acquiring valuable skills through the team effort as a student athlete. So learning how to express those in an interview would definitely benefit you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Hodge, I have a question as it relates to, maybe a upperclassman that's on their way out and they're looking into maybe graduate school. So my question to you is, when should a student athlete prepare to take the graduate entry exam, and what additional resources are out there to help prepare for that process?
Students should look at taking the entrance exams to grad school, be it the GMAT, the MAT, or the LSAT, if you want to go to law school, as early as the first semester of their junior year. And now is a keen opportunity ideal time rather, to do it, because a lot of institutions are waiving those fees based on the pandemic. So if you want to, and also the financial aid office has GRE waivers, and I know when I was in career services, I had GMAT waivers. So seek out those resources as well to have those fees waived. But also Kaplan does pre-testing for all tests. So Kaplan, Kaplan, Google that, and there's a local office that can assist you and supply you with testing options. But as early as the first semester of your junior year, start preparing to test, and test the second semester. Start testing the second semester of your junior year, just to make sure. Mm-hmm.
Mr. Hodge, how you doing? It's Coach Ealy.
How you doing, Coach?
Oh man, trying to find a way. Very good information you sharing with the student athletes. I had a couple of things, I wanted to share your thoughts on, being a former college student athlete myself, and career. Just that thought of going into a career is always the most puzzling, and where the depression comes for student athletes. And we have some of the most creative student athletes, among ourselves that's in the country. Everybody wants to own their own business. Everybody wants to do their own thing. And I think a lot of times the student athletes, first of all, as they asked about, how to start their own business without money. Again, I know you and I have talked in the past about grants and being able to take your vision and put it in those underserved neighborhoods and find who needs your vision, and then find grants that's available. I know we've talked about that, and also establishing yourself through credit. A lot of times as a minority, you don't have a lot of generational wealth that's been passed on from your family. So establishing yourself by getting a small credit card while you're in school, showing good credit history, paying it on time. You only need a $500 limit. Make you spend $50 a year, but pay the bill on time. Now that established good credit, and then investing in yourself. My career development person when I was in school had me to open up a whole life insurance policy. At that time, I didn't know, you think you're going to live forever, and I'm not even understanding what do I need a whole life insurance policy? Well, one, by getting that whole life policy when I was 19 or 20 years old, I got the policy for, I think I got $150,000 for $12 a month. I kept that policy to today. I still have that policy, and now in that policy, I have somewhere in the neighborhood of $18,000. So what happens is now, if I was to try to get that same $200,000 of insurance that I've gotten over the time that I got at 18, it would cost me probably $300,000. But now that I was able to get it at that $8 and then $12 a month, that policy became a pretty much a savings plan for me. But more importantly, it gave me collateral, so that now when I'm going into a business to ask for a loan or going and try to start my business, it gave me an opportunity to say, one, I had good credit because I had that $500 card that I paid on time, and I had collateral because I had the whole life. So I think sometimes with our students is all, the first thing that they want to look at is, how do I get a job? But I think, the more that we try to get them into, how do I get a career? How do I become the job? So I like the information you're sharing, and I hope that information that I just shared, and as we talked before, that helps these young folks, that you can create a business with zero in the bank. You That's just right. have to have the product that meet the demand.
And great. Thanks for that great information, Coach. Very, very true. And then once you meet the demand, you get some of your teammates. You all can go into business together. Start a tutoring program or some kind of mentoring program within your community as a nonprofit organization, and then there are a number of grant opportunities out there for you. So yes, thank you, Coach, for that great information.
So again, just kind of piggyback off what Coach Ely mentioned about, a lot of our student athletes wanting to be their own entrepreneur. Do you have any particular resources or additional information that they could possibly look into on their free time as they want to, get their business going? I know some people may be interested in the hair industry, some may be interested in running a car shop, whatever the case may be. Like, what are some additional resources out there that they can look into?
Well, you have one right there on campus. As the Director of Career Services, I engage with the alumni quite often. And there are a number of successful Hornet alums who have successful business in the field of finance, information technology, you name it. They have hair and whatever, and real estate. There are a number of entities out there. So I can't think of his name. But the alumni office, as well as Jennifer Anderson in the Office of Development, they have access to said alumni, and so do you. So do you all, in terms of social media groups. So just reach out to some of the alums, as well as I stated earlier, Miss Andrea Mosley in the Small Business Center. She has access to a number of entrepreneurs that can actually show you the way, and some of your coaches as well. They can show you the way because they can provide you with the blueprint. And here's another factor, that if you don't have a mentor, get one. I'm in my 40s and I have 5 males and females that I still converse with, that I still seek advice from. How do you handle this situation? How did you stay calm in this situation? Because you don't want to ruin your professional career or image by either going off on someone or throwing tables or something like that. But because you want to be able to maintain a good temperament in a professional setting. So all of those are factors, and that a mentor can actually show you the way in terms of not only showing you how to create said business, but showing you how to function in certain facets of the business.
Thank you. Does anyone else have any questions for Mr. Hodge and everything that may have been covered? please feel free to chime in on this conversation. Because again, this conversation is for you all to get understanding as it relates to how to prepare to your next step, while you're in college. So please feel free to ask. I'm gonna just keep reiterating that throughout this time. So just kind of going back into it, Mr. Hodge, I know you touched on it briefly. What are some key do's and don'ts to include on resumes?
Well, in regards to resume, your resume should be no more than I'll give you 2 pages, no more than 2 pages. I always have a professional email address. Nowadays, I wouldn't put my physical address on there because of technology. You can easily access someone's physical. There's too much going on to have your physical address on your resume. So your name, city, state, zip code or whatever, and then phone number, and make sure you have a professional email address. Name, last name. Well, use your student email address since you're a student. Make sure that you just don't have anything like too hot at Yahoo or something like that. You may be too hot, but IBM does not want too hot at their establishment. So, and I say this because it only takes 8 to 14 seconds for a company to look over your resume, and they typically look at it from the top down. So if the first quarter, the first top portion of your resume doesn't resonate with them in that matter of time, then they typically will shift your resume to the side. So whatever announcement that you're looking for, a job that you're applying for, make sure that you kind of tweak your resume to fit that actual position. And you do this by utilizing some of the same terms that they use in their job description, job advertising or whatever. Another don't is I often got a lot of seniors that 2 to 3 weeks before they were graduating would come to me and say, I need a job. I'm like, where have you been all this time? You haven't been to a career fair and you haven't been to the office. I have several companies coming on campus. So you have to develop a mindset that as soon as I touch down here at this university, I am at work. I'm focused on my career, and that includes not the present moment, not only the present moment, but my future career as well. So planning, identifying the resources to bring my visions of success to full fruition, conversing with coaches, getting to know them, staying away from things and people that don't add to my vision for my success. And lastly, Mr. Bennett, in terms of the question, I place my life into 5 pillars. That's spirituality, family, health, finances, and this other stuff. Now, often the stuff is what, in most people's cases, even in my younger days, will get the most attention, this stuff. But you got to learn how to not allow the stuff to distract you from the other 4 important pillars. So when something comes along, learn how to put it in the stuff pillar over here in this section, so you can keep 85% of your full attention on what you are meant to do, because these are only distractions.
Can I ask you a quick question real quick? So about the businesses that you say that have came to your office and stuff like that, do you have any businesses that are not located in the state of Alabama that come?
Oh, yes, often. And currently, I'm not employed there, but I still have connections with it. I'm not employed at ASU, but I still have connections with all of the organizations that I had before. But yes, my contacts were all over the United States and a few that were international as well.
Okay, thank you.
Let me ask you a question. What's your major?
Business and communications.
Okay, gotcha.
I mean, it's the 2 combined.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. What were you looking to do once you graduated?
I'm thinking about sports journalism, or becoming a sports analyst, or investing in property and flipping it.
Okay, well, what I'll do is give Mr. Bennett Mr. Bennett have my information, and make sure you send it out to everyone, Mr. Bennett, and I'll gladly assist everybody with their future endeavors.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I guess we could just kind of end it off on, just some things to look for. So, as I am, I'm out, I'm about to graduate, what, what areas or what should I be looking forward, like what should I be looking forward to as it relates to graduation? I mean, does that depend on my career goals, or like is it a specific, I guess, timeline or blueprint that I should be looking at, as I'm, gathering my thoughts to get, as I'm graduating college? Like, I think some suggestions is in that particular area.
Well, one is financial planning, and Coach Ela touched on it earlier. Regions Bank, and this is something I'll encourage y'all to do now. Regions Bank actually, and several other banks, do financial planning, and they actually will pay you all a fee to host this. I think it's like $3,500 or whatever. I can't recall, but financial planning is definitely key to your success, because if you get caught up in rent, a car note, a light bill, and gas, things that you have to pay, but you don't have a substantial amount of income coming in to meet those bills and those financial responsibilities, can definitely create a situation for stress and there's distress and there's eustress. Eustress is the good kind of stress, but distress is something that you want to stay away from. Now, there's opportunity to learn, but proper financial planning will eliminate some of those things. So just make sure that you do your research, obtain a good career, and know that sometimes every day is not a good day. There are some days that you will have that are bad, but as I often say, there's ice on the mountaintop, but when you're in the valley, that's where you learn. There's growth in the valley, and there's grass, there's life in the valley. So you may think you're having a bad experience, but it's actually a development process for you to, and if you process it that way and get the lesson out of what you're going through, and know that you're not a product of your environment or situation, but know that this is only a training period to elevate you to the next step. So just expect some of those things to come, but with proper planning and education and a proper resource system or ecosystem and support system of different professionals, mentors, and people and family, that you can get through and you can achieve everything that you set out to do.
Thank you, Mr. Hodge.
You're welcome.
So if there are no other questions, I do have some announcements before we leave. I definitely want to bring Abdi to the mic to give an announcement to every senior that's out there as far as looking forward to graduating. Abdi, can you come to the mic and make your announcement? Well, okay, so I see Abdi is at this time, but I was just going to make the announcement to graduate seniors. There was a link sent into the chat box about the 13th annual HBCU career market. That's a great initiative to be a part of. I don't think it's just limited to seniors, but a lot of the conversation it is geared towards the seniors that are graduating. So definitely you want to take a look to that link and get registered. It is October 27th through the 30th, and it would be great for you all to attend and get more information as you're continuing on your career endeavors. Also, too, just want to make another announcement as far as individuals that are not registered to vote. Again, this Thursday, we will have another voter registration drive here outside the Hardy Center. So if you are not registered to vote, please come out and get registered. You know, you can get information on how to set up an absentee ballot. So if you do not want to register in the state of Alabama, you have options out there to get registered to vote. So keep that in mind for this Thursday, October 8th, and there will be some giveaways as well if you want to attend. Lastly, next Tuesday, we're going to continue on our speaker series with Coach White, head volleyball coach. We're going to have another conversation as it relates to related issues that's going on in everyday society. And again, you know, I always appreciate you all to come out and ask questions if necessary. So please be engaged in that particular opportunity. So that would be October the 13th, which is a week from today. With that being said, I know term 1 is ending this week. So continue on with last assignments and finals that you have to get completed. Please make sure that you are contacting your professors and you are submitting work on time, because again, classes end for term 1 this Friday. Okay. Other than that, I don't have anything else for everyone. Everyone can go in peace. I will see you all later.